David, with taking into account the local economy, what's been going on for the last couple of months, how we're moving forward to try to come out of that, what would your recommendation be to investors? Do you think it's a good idea to buy rental properties now, or should they wait maybe a little longer before they start that process?
Well, every investor has to evaluate their own risk curve. And it should also be part of an overall investment strategy. Most people who are professional investors have a diversified portfolio and manage it a certain way. One of my concerns is that there's been a lot of television and radio commercials saying, oh, you know, don't sell your house, rent your house out, buy the next house, and, you know, have this great investment. And one of my concerns about that is that if there is a crash in the market, some of these people will not have the cash available in order to live through hard times. And I have personally been through, as a professional real estate investor and professional investor, I have personally been through some pretty hard times. My number one property experienced a major fire. We had some rental income insurance, and it was a fraction of the normal income we received from the property. Of course, our mortgage payments, our tax payments continued during that time. And because I'm a provident, careful investor, I was able to weather that storm. I've also been through an eviction where we decided not to re-rent the property. So we went in and renovated the property and put it on the market for sale. So we've gone 6 months without income from one of our properties. So my concern is that well-qualified investors, this is still a great market. You're going to get a good interest rate. You may be able to buy the properties a little cheaper, but in fairness, you may also be buying a property that's got say it's a fourplex, you've got two tenants are paying the rent and two tenants who either are not paying the rent or need to be evicted, or two vacancies. So when you purchase investment property, the mortgage company is going to look at the investor, but they're also going to look at the income prospects for the property, and they generally don't have a lot of creativity. So property is 50% rented, they're going to give the purchasing investor a 50% credit. So I am in the market. I'm actually have an investment property that's about to close, and I plan to use the proceeds to immediately go back in the market and buy another investment property. But again, I do this as part of my profession. And so I encourage professional investors, people know what they're doing or have good advisors, to continue to look at good deals in the market. Not all properties are struggling. Properties in good neighborhoods, properties that have a built-in audience, things are a little unpredictable. For instance, one of the better rental markets for patient landlords, because it is kind of an acquired thing, is I've had some rental property near universities, and I sold one a few years back, but I rented to graduate students. We had a great market. We had a great run. But what I don't know is if the university where your students are going shuts down and says, oh, everybody go home. It's, you know, it's spring break. Don't come back from spring break, which is exactly what happened this spring. Some of those landlords could be facing some very significant and sudden vacancies, despite the fact that if you look at the long-term curve, the rental markets near universities traditionally are very solid markets. So again, I think the solid investors should stay in. I think if people are looking at selling their house and maybe renting that house out, that they might want to take a hard look at their overall financial situation to make sure that if they do have an eviction or a fire or something like that, that they have got the financial wherewithal to handle the storm, so to speak.